Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 110 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. As you can see, I'm removing and rewiring and rerunning some things and some stuff in pretty much the goal of moving things around and getting them up and running. So what's on the agenda for today, I hear you asking? I've done some work between this episode and last, pretty much to get things running around the base. Let's see, I've got redstone energy conduits over here. I'm going to run these rather sloppily for the time being, but once we get things properly moved over here, then we'll have a much better setup going. But for now, that should get me power into all four machines here. Looking good, looking good. You're full still from before. So I've just been moving over like my crafting stuff, as you can see. So you're probably set to output. Yeah, that should be fine. Nice. So I should be able to connect all this up. That'll trigger onto 4 channels in use, cover up the flooring here, and that doesn't look half bad. Nice. So like I said, this room is mostly going to be something that we don't access much, or only when we want to do things. So I'm not too worried about wires kind of running all over the place in here. I kind of like the industrial look that it's giving us. So that's neat. I've moved all my items over and I've hooked up all this stuff. I think for the most part, it's pretty much good. I just want to double check a few things, but it should be fine. So you should be configured to output out the back. That's good. As well as you here, and that dumps into the ME system. So we should have most of our auto crafting back up and running in the new void dimension, which is huge because one of the main things we're going to want to do is make sure we can auto craft and do things here. And I'll obviously be covering this stuff up eventually and all that. I want it to both look nice and be super efficient and functional. My main goal for this void dimension that we're going to be living in is high efficiency. I want everything to just work perfectly. There's a couple things I want to do this episode that I don't quite have transitioned over yet. So let's actually teleport back to our old base and check out what we've got going on over there still. I do still have these as 2 separate and completely independent networks from each other. So the ME network in the Void Age is completely separate and not really connected to the network here. We have the Quantum Bridge up and running still, but we now have nothing almost connected over here. The only thing that's left on this side is the following. So if we take a look at stored items, we'll see things like our farms, our stone and cobble and sand, and all this should be just fine because these are all independently running systems. I could probably move my marble over. I think that's just sitting right here in dirt. But these are all independent, so we don't have to worry about moving them over. We've also got the wool. This system's independent. It doesn't require the AE system to be here and crafting process. So pretty much everything we've got here is pretty much allowed to stay. We may move it eventually, but it's not a priority to move. Now, craftable items are things like this stuff, which we'll probably want to move. We've also got some cake. We'll probably want to move that over. The Thaumcrafty stuff, I'm going to make that a low priority to move. The pneumatic craft stuff, I don't know if I need it over there just yet, so that won't be a high priority, but I definitely want to move this system. So that is this guy right here, which, you know, currently is running, which is strange to me. I don't know why you're running or how, but you are, so good for you. I don't know where you're getting things from because you really don't have much, but okay, cool. Long story short, I need to work on this thing. So I want to get this up and running and also the new system I have planned for the pure crystals. So we'll be back in a minute to take a look at that. All right, guys, we're back, and I think I've got a pretty good plan for this thing. So I've obviously got a lot more set up than I had before, and I'm making a few things here, like import buses. Let's get like 10 of these or so. Hopefully I have enough stuff for that. Looks like I do, so it'll craft. So what am I working on? I want to make a more efficient design, one that works reliably, unlike my previous designs, which did not work reliably, and made me a rather sad direwolf. So let's see what we can see. So I've got power coming into the top of this thing, and these inscribers will transfer both power and data. So you can see this smart cable here has 1 channel in use, and it's getting it through this line. Nice. So that's cool. As a result, we can do a bunch of neat things. So I want to export into here. I'm going to put a capacity card in, and your job will be to export these things into the top. Your job will be to export redstone. And your job will be to export silicon stuff. Do I have any of those in? I thought yeah, printed silicon. Nice. But the fancy part of this is we're going to give this a crafting card, right? So this thing will dynamically request printed silicon until this inventory slot is full. The same with this, dynamically requesting redstone until this inventory slot is full. So if we come in here and we get our smart cable, the only other thing I'm going to want to do is have another line coming off here, and as a result I should probably paint these guys. And we'll make this line red. Why not? Red and green sounds like a good color setup. Hopefully this won't cause a confusion or a problem with channels, but I think we'll be all right here. So let's see. That went to 2 active channels, and that's 0. So that might not be cool. But you know what I can do? So if we don't want that to happen, I think if I convert you like so, will that make that better? 1 channel and 1 channel. Nice. That's what's up. So with these guys being the flat interfaces, they won't transmit channels and data adjacently like that. And that's kind of what we want in this situation. So 4 channels in use here. We should see that light up in a moment. Oh, right. There we go. Awesome. So that just colors that. You're all red now. And just for the sake of appearances, we'll make them all red. And then you're green, right? So that's cool. And we can put covers on this all in a minute. But that looks pretty decent. So in fact, this is where I'm going to put my patterns for things, but I'm going to change them up. So let's see. How's my inventory space doing? I've seen better days, Dyer. I've seen better days. You are doing this again? Really? I have to figure out what's up with that, because AE is definitely being just funny to me. And this is a whole new system, so I don't know what's up. I should also, while I'm here, get some pure Certus quartz so that I can, I think this is the one I designated him to be. Yeah. I had to get more acceleration upgrades in this thing, by the way, because they're pretty slow. But that's all right. So your job will be to export these 3 types of things whenever they exist in the network. No crafting card, right? You need to now be taught how to make this in the new design. So what I'm going to do is grab you. So this will just be not redstone and not printed silicon. Just put pure Certus quartz in and you'll eventually get a calculation processor. Okay? And the same for this. Diamond goes in and you'll get this processor. Silicon goes in and you get this. And then gold goes in and you get this. So the way this works then is this is my silicon one. Okay? So we put the silicon pattern in there. This is the Certus quartz one. So we'll put the Certus quartz pattern in there. This should be diamond. Yes. So we'll put the diamond pattern in there. And then finally, this is gold, so we'll put the gold pattern in there. Then we want some import buses. And I'm fortunately going to kind of need one here as well because we need both. But let's see what happens now. So if I do this and that, we should start dynamically outputting redstone here. And we should also see silicon winding up in this thing, making silicon stuff for us. Nice. I'll put my acceleration upgrades in this one because this is the one we're going to need to kind of go through pretty quickly. Cool. So this guy needs his import bus taken care of. Nice. So that should be cool. Awesome. So you should be reacting a little bit more quickly than that. Oh, right. Yeah, only one at a time. It won't be able to handle a stack. Perfect. So that's what I want to see. Nice. So then all I have to do in theory is say, oh, right, out of range. So let's do processor, right? I'm going to request 10 of these, right? So it says I need 10 I shouldn't need this. You should not. Oh, did I not write those dudes? One silicon. Oh, I must not have hit the save button kind of thing. Thought I did, but clearly did not. There we go. Cool. So this is silicon. This one should be Certus, diamond, and gold. Cool. So now if I request processors by way of 10, it should tell me I just need to throw 10 gold in, right? And what's going to happen is this thing will get his gold. I think that's the one. Okay, it'll stamp it. It'll get imported into the network in a moment here once I connect my wiring. Cool. We can see that's 7 channels in use now, so that should get sucked in. And then it automatically gets exported over here where it gets turned into the appropriate processor, fulfilling the request for a craft. Nice. And then this thing will automatically request a new printed silicon. Very cool. Not bad, right? So that should be fully automated at this point. Like, it'll just take care of everything it needs to take care of, which I think is cool. I might want to do 1 or 2 more things, but I think overall this should work pretty well for us. Yeah. It might be a little bit slow, but I could probably speed it up with a little bit of effort, obviously. So logic processors are obviously crafting and process. Sweet. I'm also crafting some silicon there. Cool. You should mostly be done with your silicon. And you should be a happy camper. Nice. All right, we'll be back in a minute. Oh, I forgot to connect this up. So that should suck those logic processors in now. There we go. Now we're talking, right? So that's 8 channels in use here, 4 in there, and now everybody's happy. If we check on our crafting status, we'll see that we just have a few things going on. Very cool. So we've got 3 logic processors, 2 logic processors. Nice. Everything's working beautifully. Okay, back in a minute. All right, guys, next up is I want to get this thing going. Now, if I remember correctly, I believe it's these sides that can connect to the cabling, right? And I'm going to use this stuff because nice. Yeah. So what I'd like to do is make this more efficient than it was last time. Last time we had a halfway decent system, but I think I can do better. Cool. Let's see here. That should do. Nice. Get back up there. So yeah, last time we had a decent system. I want to do a little bit better and a little bit more efficient and a little less prone to issues. So let's make sure that these things are all connected for power reasons. So that should be enough to keep things going. In fact, I shouldn't need this cable in reality, which is good because that's the least attractive looking one, let's put it that way. And I might even be able to tap this into here. Nope. Well, if I did it here, yeah, see how everything's lit up? That's good. Okay. I definitely want this to look halfway decent. So what I'm gonna have is an item valve that's going to live right here. Cool. And then we can put this guy back. Nice. And the item valve's job will be to handle the input and output of the system. So we'll probably have some inventory cable. I kind of wanted this to look nice too. So maybe I'll have inventory cable here and this guy here. Cool. Let me reprogram Steve's Factory Manager to handle the new way I'm going to do this. But I'm going to have the item valve both drop and pick up the item. So what this is going to wind up with is 5 crystal growth accelerators instead of just 4. So that means it's just going to be a little bit faster, 25% faster, which is nice. And then just less likelihood of like the items dropping and my magnet messing things up, that kind of thing. So we'll be back in a minute. Before I forget, I better put my water bucket in there. There we go. Hey, wrong spot. All right, back in a moment. All right, guys, so this is a very easy factory manager setup. So all we do is we'll have 2 sets of triggers. One, which will take from the chest on the north side, an empty blacklist. Basically, anything that's in the chest will get output to the item valve, okay? So we'll do this to this. And for the time being, I wanted to test this. And what I can do is I can just dump it out to the chest instead. Yeah, I want to test this. So now that's set up, right? The next trigger is anything that's in the item valve on the down facing that matches this whitelist. Fluix crystals, pure Fluix crystals, or pure Certus quartz crystals will be output to, for now I'm going to put them in the chest, but eventually I'll put it in the ME interface. Cool. So we'll target north, doesn't matter, items, empty blacklist, that should be cool, right? So we'll do that and that. So what we should see happening is the following. If I were to place redstone, nether quartz, and charged Certus quartz into the chest, it should be getting pulled out by Steve's factory manager and be thrown into the item valve, but it's not. Empty blacklist. So you should be running, buddy. All right, let me see what's up. All right, I figured out what the issue is. It's because of this double chest thing. So that should wind up combining into a Fluix crystal. And then it should already be there. So now if I activate this trigger again, boom, Fluix crystals. Now I don't have a whitelist on this thing because eventually it'll be dumped into the interface, but that's fine. Okay, so we'll leave that as is. Let me see if I can figure that out. I have the double chest here because I wanted the interface to be next to the inventory cable and the chest, but I might have to do something different. So if I set it up like this, it should work just fine. So back to this guy. I'm probably gonna set up input whitelist. So let's do that. There we go. Not that it hurts anything not to have it, but so this is just for testing once again. I'm going to drop the seeds in there, and they should in a moment spit back out. The only thing that stinks is I really don't have like a visual of what's going on in there. I kind of would have liked that, but you know what I could do? I bet I could do that. I'll be right back. All right, let's see if I can get this to work. I'm gonna take you and combine a cable cluster, which is this guy, with the item valve and the camouflage. Cool. And then hopefully this will work, though I don't know how to get you to recognize where the bottom is, but we'll figure it out. Let's grab a bucket. This might be really cool if I make it work properly. So let's do, if I place it like this, that should be good. And I can put you back. Okay, I'm gonna leave that for now because I want to do a trigger and I want to do camouflage updater. And we're going to choose the cable camouflage and we're going to camouflage it as clear glass. Hopefully then I can just like kind of peek in borderless glass. That works. So then if I connect these guys, this guy should look like borderless glass. Awesome. But he should still function like the machine we had before, which is the item valve. So the only thing I did that was really stupid is I forgot to put the water back, but that's okay. It wouldn't be the first time. There we go. Nice. So you're good. You're good. Output inventories item valve. Nice. Now if I wanted to test this, oh, look at that. And you can see right into it, but even though it looks like clear glass, now if I really wanted to be fancy, I could even make that completely gone, like not even have a block there. That would be kind of awesome. But I think it's all right the way it is. Yeah, I think it's pretty good actually. Because we can kind of see it, like we don't want it to, you know, be a nuisance. If you do get a little too close to this guy, your character can pick up the items. So I don't know if I want to do something to kind of prevent that. Like right here is okay. But if you do, there's like a couple spots where if you're just a little bit too close, but I don't think we'll ever be coming over here really. But yeah, we can watch it grow, and it should be growing very quickly because like I said, we've got 5 blocks around it, and then it should get sucked into the chest. But I'm gonna change that to suck it into the ME interface here in a moment. See, and it got sucked up and thrown into the chest. Awesome. So now let's just configure this guy. Instead of outputting to the chest, you're gonna output to the ME interface. And that should be cool. So now I should be able to request something like pure Certus, and it should come over here. Let's do it. Fluix, let's do pure Fluix. I'll do 10 of them. Missing 5 plain Certus quartz. I don't even have that. Wow, that hurts. Can I just do one of these? Oh, really? Not even like a little bit of Certus? Wow, okay. I can convert this into regular Certus, can't I, somehow? Not really. Well, that's all right. Then what I'll do is request pure Certus times 10 start. And what that should do is come over here and we should see the items dropping in. Beautiful. All right, everything is back to working with that stuff. So yay, be right back. One more thing you guys might have noticed is I didn't have the on-off toggle so that it doesn't drain power, but it drains about 80 RF a tick, I think. I think that's total. Installed 5, passive drain 80 RF a tick. So I think we can manage that at this point when we have like 20,000 RF a tick being generated downstairs. All right, guys, we are back. Continuing along the lines of I don't really want to be doing a lot of moving off camera, or on camera, I guess. I've done a lot off camera to kind of relocate the pulverizer setup. This is the thing that automatically pulverizes all my ore and eventually filters it up. Decided to make it vertical here, as you can see. I just need to get some power into this thing, and then we should be golden. So let's see. These 3 need power. These 3 need power, and this guy will need power. And I also moved my wireless access thing to this dimension so that I have access to it here. That looks good. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna run this power in a, you know, along with everything else. So you guys need power. You do. This needs network here. As does this. And let's see, we're already up to, what, 2 channels? I should have more than that. Oh, I didn't hook this up yet. That explains it. So that's 3 channels. Nice. I just need to get power. Like this probably would be the most efficient way to go. That should do. Nice. So then if we pop inside, everything should be good. Yeah, it's not terrible at all. Just maybe need a quick cover. And this is the microparts cover. This is the thermodynamics cover. That's the one I want. And this is what's going to be, like I said, the ore processing system, which, by the way, considering that we're basically out of Certus quartz, I should probably get to handling. So this is up and running. So, for example, if I were to put shiny ore in here, it should get processed relatively quickly. And And I would have thought you would have exported automatically. I guess not. Cool. And then you go, and then you're exporting automatically, like I would expect, so that's cool. So briefly, boom, into there. Done and done. Nice. Very quick, too, which is good. I just need to actually hook those power lines up to actual power now, and we should be in good shape. Yeah, it's kind of important, right? Come back here, card. I might have caught it. And this export bus, by the way, is the one that automatically pulverizes some of the ores we were sucking up with our laser system. So just keep that in mind. That's what that was for. All right, let's come back here in a minute. I'm considering, I think it's about time, but I want to see what I've got by way of stuff. Let's put some things away over here, because we can. Obviously, I'll tweak the room here a little bit in the future, but for now it's kind of serving its purpose and doing a good job. So you can kind of all go away. Actually, I should hang on to the dolly. Chest can go away there, but I'll take you if you're empty. Cool. So right now we have two separate AE systems, right? I can't request crafting across the quantum bridge. Or across right now, but I should be able to, at this point, get rid of this ME controller and replace it with the quantum bridge. I just kind of want to see how much down here I'm actually using. So we do have a lot of channels left. Jeez, that is just a ton of stuff everywhere. Stuff everywhere, guys. I mean, it's such a mess down here still. I feel like I'm been working on AE for 2 full episodes, and we still have a giant mess of junk to deal with. So that's cool. Let's see. How am I going to move this? All right, guys. This wire here goes all the way over to my blood magic area. I've just cut that off, which should be pretty significant. Amount of channels freed up. Though I am surprised that I still have access to this stuff. I don't even know where that's stored. If it's not the blood magic area. Could have sworn it would be, but now I'm confused. Because you guys should no longer be connected here. Okay. Color me confused, but that should no longer be possible. Yeah, device offline, right? Because we disabled everything. We just broke the wires. So there should be no more connection allowed here. Yeah, you can see why I needed to do this, right? For some reason, they're still showing up. That makes 0 sense to me. But that means I can get rid of you, 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 and you. So that frees up some channels. What I'm trying to do is just pare down the things that I need to have. So yeah, we'll be back in a minute. Let me do a couple more of those. All right, guys, I've managed to break up most of my system into things that I really don't need to be connected to at the moment. So down this line, the one in the back there, that's Pneumaticraft's auto crafting stuff. We'll probably move that eventually. This line right here is just the sugarcane stuff, so that's fine. We can live without that for a little bit. This line here leads to the Mine Factory Reloaded lasers and the export of Yellorium into the whatchamacallit thing down there. So that should be cool. I also disabled the Tesseract that feeds power into those things. So we should be not draining much power at the moment, hopefully. I don't think I broke any of that so far. Yeah, so we're only using about 2,000 RF a tick, which is good. We're doing plenty fine. And my reactors should not be running at the moment. All this stuff should be independent. The only thing that I removed here is the connection to the export bus. So as you can see, we're not, I mean, we have almost a stack in there still, so we should be fine for a little while. I'll probably want to move my reactor pretty soon. So the only things that remain here, so this was the blood magic area, and this leads over to the Britannia area, where I have like cakes exporting and such. So the only things that really are kind of sticking around are this line here, which feeds over to my cobbleworks, the cobble, sand, etc., and this line here, which feeds over to the wool farm and the wheat farm with like wheat and potatoes and all that stuff, and the tree farm. So if we check, the only things that our AE system should have now are those items. So we can see there's the tree farm, right? Wood, saplings, apples, charcoal, that stuff. We also have the carrots and potatoes and wheat and seeds. That's from the wheat farm. The cobbleworks, stone, cobble, sand, gravel, and glass. And then we've got the wool farm. And that's it. Like, that's all that remains over here in terms of what's really necessary to feed back to the main system. I'm going to be slowly migrating things from the overworld to the Void Age. So that should be fine. So what I'm going to do now then is remove the ME controller on this side of the world. And let's do that. So that should really shut everything down. I've debated if I want to move that ME controller or how I want to handle that. I should probably move it. Would not be the worst idea in the world. Just trying to keep everything in this chest here as it relates to anything I've removed. You can see a bunch of other things I removed, like the chisel stuff, like the automated chisel thing, and all that fanciness. So how are we for cables and such? We should be pretty good, honestly. So yeah, let's move this thing. Just down one kind of level. There we go. You can go back inside. And then which of these does the cable come off of? Is it the thicker ones, I believe? Yeah. Okay. So let's do this. There's basically two cable connections that we're going to really want to have. I could put this just in the floor. That might not be the worst idea in the world. Let's do that. Cool. So we'll put it like right here in the floor. That might be cool. Nice. And there's our quantum link device. Let's make sure right now nothing's connected to it. That's good. So we'll put this cable here. And that should bring everything online. And then this cable can go here. It should connect that. And this should be able to talk between dimensions here. I just need to actually hook it up, because right now it's not connected to the main system over on the other side. So let's go do that. Let's pop back over to the other dimension and see what's up. So starting teleportation, let's go over there. So what I'm going to do here is snag this stuff. I'll kind of leave that for the time being. And I'm going to replace this thing in here somewhere. I haven't figured out entirely where yet. You know what I could do? This should work. So I can still navigate around in here just fine with this being here. So if we pop this guy in, these guys are placed obviously in the wrong spot, but that's okay. So let's see what happens. Are you gonna like activate and be happy and everything? I think I need to feed power into the other side. But so right now we shouldn't have access to the stuff that's back there, right? But when we go back, we should be able to get it up and running. So I really just need power into this thing, and I think I can feed power directly into the corners, if I'm not completely mistaken about that. All right, I am relatively mistaken about that. So what I'm gonna want is to come back in a second, because I think I just need, if I make a power acceptor, that should be no problem. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I got my power acceptor. To be fair, I should be able to just put the dense energy cables over here, but well, I guess we can try that and see what happens. So right now, you should basically have no energy and no ability to see anything. However, if I throw you and you down, you should light up and you should activate, and boom, we can see it all. All the things. Nice. That's what I want. Now, are we currently seeing wool? We are. And we're also seeing the stone and gravel. Awesome. That is cool. So that means that this connection is coming through 26 and 5. Awesome. Beautiful. That's exactly what I wanted to see happen, and it looks like it's working. I think I've got another dolly over here. Sweet. I can snag you guys then. You were never actually hooked up to anything. I've got room for my inventory. All right, so I think I should be leaving you guys with the world download pretty much ready to like function. It's not going to be obviously complete. I have a lot of work to do to get us to the point where I can completely give up the overworld, right? But at least for now, you guys should be able to at least, like I said, function to a point in this age. So if we come over here, we should see we have access to, nice, our stone, our cobble, and all our wool should be here as well. So the only thing that exists in the overworld now, from AE's perspective, is a bunch of stuff I disconnected, like the blood magic and Britannia stuff. And then the cobble works and the wool farm. And I think we're pretty good. Nice. All right, so I think that's a pretty good wrapping up point for the episode. So I will now prepare the world download for you guys so that you guys have episode 110 ready to download. Obviously, this world is not the best world download I've ever done, but we're also in the middle of moving bases from point A to point B. So that's something to keep in mind. Interesting. Pretty sure I can have more than 32 channels going through this quantum ring, by the way, but I'm not 100% positive. But we don't need more than 32 right now, so that works for me. For now, Direwolf20 signing off. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I really do. I had some fun rebuilding this thing. Had some fun with the camouflage, obviously. And then I had some fun with this stuff over here. That was pretty cool, in my opinion. We have some nice automation in place. And the Void Age, I mean, this is all of my AE stuff for the most part. Kind of contained in one room, including a bunch of automation. That's pretty awesome. And this room, obviously, like, the wires all over the place and stuff, but if I really was concerned about that, I wouldn't have put the ME controller in the middle of the room. Like, purposely kind of like the way this hole looks. And we have plenty of cable spots to go up out the top. We have a bunch that we could probably feed down the bottom once we don't need our quantum ring anymore, and plenty on the sides that we could feed out to other areas. But like I said, gotta wrap up the episode. I'm also going to make sure my trash can storage bus is placed back and configured correctly and all that other good stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go get the world download ready for you guys. As a matter of fact, oh, that's a chest full of junk. Look at that, I have so much junk. Holy cow. Let's go get an iron chest to put all our stuff in. This should work. Hopefully I can fit everything in here. You know what? I'll make this into a gold one. All right, so I should come to the overworld, because if you guys get my world download, you'll be in the overworld. So I'll make sure my chest is available here. Everything should be pretty functional, though. I don't think I broke anything. I don't think. All right, guys. Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.